trusting that we're live. Does it tell you that I'm recording you right now in the creepiest way
I
imaginable?
well, it tells me to keep my clothes on, so we must be recording.
Okay, that's a good sign. Hey everybody. It's well, we're into week 2, but Ryan and I have decided to collaborate and talk shit about all things week 1. So, that's
There's a
exciting. Nice little
lot to
treat.
talk shit about.
It's true. The week that never should have been, I think, depending on who you are. Um, Before we start to dish on that, though, wanted to quick recap week 1 side mission. A fun-filled $9 of your hard-earned money, and that's going out to, drumroll please, not Matt, who scored 71 points, which you would think that would be really good, but actually Cody, who scored 72.1 points. So,
Well, he's got what, 3 quarterbacks on his bench and
right,
1 in
it's
his starting
amazing.
lineup. So I mean, it's it was a given from the start, I think.
I would have thought too, but there were actually a few that were a lot closer. Matt had 71, Walker had 64. So, there were a lot of points sitting on benches. But like I said, ideally week 1 was supposed to be your optimum, this is what you drafted for sort of lineup, right? So, I mean, you think about it, it works out. But anyway, that was week 1. So, congratulations, Cody. Big win, $9. I've got it documented, so we'll
You
keep
can
track
use
of
that
that,
to buy me a beer next weekend at your wedding.
right? Or keep one of your 3 quarterbacks next year. 4 quarterbacks. So, um, week 2, we will start a new side mission. Ryan, pick a number 1 through 30.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with my favorite number, and I'm gonna go with 20.
Number 20. That's going to be immaculate receptions. So, the team with the highest combined reception total among their offensive starters will win our side pot bet this week. So,
Interesting. So is that a combination of wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends?
correct. Yes, all players that can catch passes. I guess even if someone swats a pass back to
The
Joe
quarterback.
Flacco and he catches it and I don't, whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that could happen. So yeah, we'll
Okay. Very
a
good.
combination, all receivable receptions.
Are
God, I'm not
butt
good at words.
fumbles a side mission at all this year?
I'm not going to spoil it. So
Okay.
uh, there is the possibility is out there. We'll never know.
Okay. Okay.
So week 2, immaculate receptions. Be on the lookout for it. Um, okay, so that's side pots. We got a couple things taken care of right off the bat. Now let's get into the meat of this bad boy. Week 1. What happened? What went right? What went wrong? Who should be nervous? And I don't know, whatever else. What do you think? Let's start with you, Ryan.
What went right? Well, there was a couple of surprising performances for people that I didn't expect. I think Brent's team, the team Melcha Yeti Howlers, had a surprising win over Cody's squad. But then also Carl had a nice surprising win, especially with the way it started for him. Cam Akers putting out a 0 in the Thursday night game, coming back to score the highest amount of points in our entire league this week. So that was pretty impressive.
I gotta say, those were absolutely two of the ones that jumped out at me. Carl had 2 players, well, one with a 0 and one with a negative.
A negative, yeah.
So that was something. And then his starting quarterback only put up 13. So
Right.
put those things together and you're like, what the hell? But even just looking down the line, I mean, there was a 25-point game from DeAndre. Like looking at this, it just doesn't even seem like it should add up to the highest scoring team of the week, right? Like I'm
Well, but
still trying
but
to come to grips.
what really turned the tide for him is his defense. His
Right.
defense put up a combined 80 points last week, and that's going to win you some weeks when you got defensive players that multiples putting up 15, 20 points. You're going to win.
It's true. It's true. Um, and yeah, on the flip side, or maybe not the flip side, but uh, Brent's team,
That other matchup.
it just defies logic. This was another one where I not only did you start two tight ends, okay,
That's
um,
true.
the two tight ends combined for 3 points, 3.5 points. What the fuck? Um, and sure shit, squeaks out the win. I have no idea, but it worked for him.
Well, and looking at Cody's team, I mean, you have the top two running backs going into the draft. You have one of the top 5 to 10 wide receivers and the top tight end, and you lose.
How about Darius Shaq Leonard, the number one tight end in or not tight end,
Uh,
linebacker in
Linebacker.
IDP? Did he not play? Did he get hurt? What happened there? I
You
didn't
know,
even. I
I haven't
just saw the
looked
goose
that
egg right here.
closely at that one.
Interesting. Oh, you know what? He was ruled out.
Ooh,
Like before.
before the game,
Yeah. Oh, Cody. All
and
right.
he
Well,
didn't
that's all
even get
right.
a chance to adjust.
We've learned our
Ouch.
lesson. Watch it like a hawk. Um, how about some shitty teams? Let's talk about some shitty teams or some truly rough breaks.
Well,
Not
I
that I'm
the
alluding to myself, but
the one that I had really pinned down was the one that we just talked about, Cody's team. When you have two of the top running backs and none of them perform, that's rough. I don't know. I didn't think that your team was a considered a shitty team because you did exactly what you were supposed to do. You lost.
yeah, there is that. I really, I don't know. Shame on me for thinking I could count on a rookie linebacker to do anything, which he did not. So lesson learned there.
Yeah. You're
I
talking
don't know.
about the one from Philadelphia?
Yeah. I not that it even would have been like a big deciding factor, but I mean it was close enough where any points would have helped, right? But
Yes.
oh well. Oh well. I really I don't feel that down about it. I suffered some injuries, but I came prepared. I drafted 8 running backs, so I'm
Right.
gonna weather that storm.
Right.
Um,
Except for when
yeah,
you go up against Carl and his defense puts up more points than, all your running backs combined.
that's not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen.
But looking at the matchups, from across the board, they were all right there.
Right.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of really any blowouts that we can really pin down. So everybody did draft a really good team. It's just the cards shook out differently for people than would have been expected.
Right. That's it. I
I
mean,
mean, and not everybody can win every week. So,
no, we're into it now, right? I mean,
yep.
we're already dealing with injuries. We're scrambling to fill gaps, and this is where the rubber hits the road, right? So don't be lax. You got to hit that waiver wire. And speaking of which, that's a great segue, right? Let's
Great
take a look at
segue.
the waiver wire.
It's like you almost planned it.
I would never. I would never. All right. So let's sort it because I think in most leagues, waiver wires probably ran today, right? But we're special. So we didn't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Most waivers run for the first time of the week on Wednesday.
So it looks like Espen is telling me that Jeff Wilson has been a hot mover. Like 42% of leagues
Well,
have
and
picked
that
that
makes
guy up.
sense
So
given the Elijah Mitchell injury and how long he's going to be out. And he was the main back to come into that game.
How much are you going to bid on Jeff Wilson?
Ooh,
Theoretically, of course. Not
theoretically.
not
Ooh,
looking for you to
theoretically.
spill the
That's yeah.
tea.
I don't want to give anything away. I think honestly, somebody could, probably have to go 30% of their budget, to get it, if not higher. Given the time frame that Elijah Mitchell's looking at, I'd say 30 to 40%.
Yeah, I didn't look. I should have looked. Because I think last year I scooped up Elijah Mitchell in the pretty much the exact same scenario, right? And I
Yep.
think I might have spent like 45 on him last year.
Yep.
So yeah, damn near half of my free agent bucks to get him. So
Yep. Yep.
that's why I'm so glad we're doing free agent bucks instead of just
Oh,
priority
just straight
order.
waiver. Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it makes things way more interesting. It kind of levels the playing field, it's why everybody doesn't do it as the default now is beyond me. But
Right. Right. Well, because they
there it
can't
is.
understand it, I guess.
There is that. There might be
we're
that.
ahead of the times.
Yeah, right. We're too smart. We're too smart. Um, any bets on how much Carl spent towards Daryl Henderson?
Ooh, I didn't look that closely. I want to see what his team sits at for running back.
I know he was starting Cam Akers,
He
so
was. He
that
was. And then looking at his team just real quick, he already has Cam Akers on his bench for this week, so he has no faith that he's going to bounce back. Looking at what he has, he probably is going to put a bid in for him, but I don't think he's going to go that high. I think Carl's more gonna trust what he had already drafted
yeah,
and go from there. He'll probably put a bid, maybe 5-10 bucks. It's not
yeah.
gonna get him for that.
There's probably Browns defensive players out there that he's more actively purchasing, acquiring. So
Yes,
I think in
yes.
theory he could roster the entire starting Browns defense. So maybe we better keep an eye on that.
We might want to consider him to be held for insanity if he does. But
No, I welcome this. I think he should really. Carl, go for it. Go get it. I don't know. Yeah, it's really. I think if I remember last year, I'm pretty sure that the offensive guys are the ones that ended up getting the most free agent bucks. I feel like
oh
a
yeah,
lot of these defensive acquisitions ended up being on the cheap, quick day or
you
two
could get a
later.
lot of defensive players, a lot of good defense players for a $0 bid, and I have a feeling that's going to continue to be the case this year too.
Yeah, it's really hard to find reliable. I don't want to. Maybe reliable is not the word. Consistent. It's just tough to spend money on defensive players because it seems to be pretty up and down. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they start a lot more of them on a given day than your offensive players. You're looking at your running backs, most teams are starting one, maybe two, whereas linebackers, there's three or four of them on the field at any one time.
true that. All right. What else?
Wide
What else are we
receivers,
gonna
though,
do?
I think that's gonna be another spot where people are gonna look to add some depth this waiver wire, and I think there's a couple out there. Dobbs or Dubes or whatever his name is from the
Green Bay
Packers.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, he Green Bay needs weapons. They need somebody to throw to, and this Dobbs is we'll call him that for here. He was one of the top targeting ones for Aaron Rodgers this week, so I think he's going to be a hot pickup because there's going to be consistency there.
I just want to take a quick second to shout out Greg Dortch because
Dortch,
I can't think of
great
a
name.
guy who probably got beat up over his name more than Greg Dortch.
Dortch. What a
That's a
dorch
tough
bag.
that's a tough break in life. Congratulations to Greg for overcoming the odds and doing his thing.
Making it to the NFL so that us no name YouTube podcasters can make fun of him even more.
Absolutely. Greg Dortch. What a legend. What
Yes.
else do we have to talk about? I can't think of any other great ones. I feel like I had a lot more to say, and I'm just screwing it up.
No, I think we've hit most everything. There is one thing that comes to my mind though. If you all remember correctly, Ben and I made this little bet during the draft. I took Jared Everett as my tight end, and Ben started in on making fun of me for that pick. And so he bet me that the next tight end that got taken would outscore Jared Everett over the first 3 weeks. How we doing on that bet, Ben? Where are
It's
we sitting?
it's not looking that great.
Really?
I you know I had a lot of faith. My faith ended up being sunk into Irv Smith Jr.
That
Um,
was the next tight end off the board, drafted by Cody's team.
was that Cody's
Um,
team? Okay.
and I if I remember correctly, Jared Everett scored me 12.65 points,
Is
and
that it?
Ben's pulling up Irv Smith's score that first week. What do you see in there?
That's
A negative zero point 0.5. So that nets me a 13.15 lead going into
it's got
week
to be a
two.
misprint. I think we should appeal Stats LLC just to see if we can get that number taken a look at. Look, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Um,
Yep.
the name Irv Smith is just going to be burned into people's minds because he will be roasting the Eagles, and he's going to be charged with a federal crime because of how many Eagles he's going to roast. You
And
can't do
they
that.
are, if you're talking about the bald ones, they are federally protected, so you can get into a lot of trouble for that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, never did I ever want to be in a position where I'm really banking on Kirk Cousins uh, and the Minnesota Vikings offense, but here we are. So,
Here we are. Here we are. And I'm going to stick by my Gerald Everett. I said first 3 weeks he will be just fine. So far,
well,
I'm on the track to be right.
I mean, week one panned out pretty well. However, I just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Week
So
one
we
was
got
really
the Jared
weird.
Everett game in prime time on Thursday. And then we've got the Irv Smith game in prime time on Monday. So we got some bookends here to look at this trade or this bet going down.
My eyes usually are on the tight end, so this
You do like a nice tight end.
this is going to work out very well.
Oh man. Well, so you and I had talked a little bit earlier this week about what we were going to do in this little segment, and I had suggested a possible live trade to kick things off. I already made a trade this week here, and I think Joe is happy with what he got. I'm happy with what I got. But what do you think we could get done, Ben? Do you think there's anything that we could get done here live on the air?
You know, spoiler alert, I was initially thinking, something in the quarterback vein,
I was
knowing
thinking
that
that too, but I took that away from you with my pickup of Herbert.
right, that was going to be my easy out. So now I'm not sure what I want to do. I just I don't know what's there for me right now. I'm in a tough spot with some injuries that I have to overcome. Um, if you want to Trey Lance, I could we could talk about. a Trey Lance move at some point in time, but
And I was thinking about that before I got hurt. But I don't know that I want to. I don't want to pull a Cody and stash too many quarterbacks on my bench.
right, right. We'll keep it in mind.
All
I
right,
would love to see some more trades happen. I think it'll
all right.
be I think that could really make things more interesting. Of course, there's always the threat of draft pick trades as well. If
Oh
we want to
yes,
see Carl tear his hair out, so that could be fun. Um, so yeah, keep it in mind, folks. Trades, it's a thing.
trades are fun. Trades are really fun.
I tried to work one out with Rob last year, and he shot me down like most girls in middle school when I
And
was
this
young.
had to
So
do with his tight end, I'm guessing.
no, I think I tried to get Jalen Waddle from him last year, and
No,
he just wasn't having it. He wasn't
so
having
he
it.
gives up his tight end freely.
Yes. Oh no. All right. Well, week one's in the books,
It
guys.
is. It was a fun week. There's plenty of season still left to go. Those that lost this week, there's time. The season's not over yet.
No, and projections, of course, are all looking pretty tight across the board. I don't think ESPN tends to try and project a lot of big blowouts, but
No.
I was surprised to see that there's nothing really, even beyond 15, 20 points. I think my my game is actually the worst looking matchup right now. I ain't scared. I ain't scared.
I
Bring it
you
on,
know,
Matt.
I would be scared of a goat.
I ain't scared of no goats. So,
Yeah.
all
Nice
right,
little Ghostbusters.
that's the word.
Who are
That's
you
the
gonna
word.
call?
Not the goats.
Not the goats.
Perfect. All right,
All right.
guys. Well, thank you for taking the time to hop on, Ryan, and
Yes. It's fun.
good good luck to you in your future endeavors here in fantasy football. That's my fingers are crossed because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
you're. I don't want you to win anything at all. So
Well, it's too late for that. I did take week one from in my matchup, so I
yeah,
have you over that.
you can go 1-14. That's fine.
Could
Yeah.
I could? Yeah, I face off against Carl here this week. That's always a fun matchup to have. Of Carl and I going at each other and talking some smack throughout the week.
Good. Drop him on his head.
Yeah, I think he's a bit too heavy for me to do that, but I'll at least try to kick him in the head.
Jeez. You break into fat jokes already. That's not nice. Let's keep it above board.
Well, him and I are probably similar in weight.
Oh, this is gonna be good already. I'm really looking forward to it. All right. Well,
Alrighty.
maybe try and break in for one more rogue video before the week starts up, but we'll see what happens. I'm not making any promises.
Good luck, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side.
Catch you later.
Bye bye.